Back again we are with the second big event of 1983. We are back in Dallas, Texas, and we are back with world-class championship wrestling. This time around, we are in the Baby Center in Oklahoma for the February edition of Star Wars. And I'm just gonna say this, that it's going to be a good one. Because as I mentioned in previous videos, Kabuki will be going up against one of the two Von Erichs, either David or Kevin. And also, the other leftover Von Erichs will be teaming up against the Freebirds for the American Tag Team Championships. So with all that being the case, and all the anticipation, so let's drop all the anticipation and jump right into the show. And let's start at the top. I made my decision, and my decision is Kevin Von Erich will be defending his North American Championship against the Great Kabuki tonight in the main event. Or, well, I shouldn't say the main event, in one of the top matches. So let's actually drop that match down. Of course, unfortunately though, Kabuki is leaving because he was stolen from me by Georgia Championship Wrestling, which basically killed the long-term plan of Kabuki and El Hijo del Tejas having a long-term feud. This is, of course, the issue when you're dealing with 1983 because, you know, at first, it is a great, you know, at first it's a little difficult, a little annoying, you know, so on and so forth. But as you get going, it becomes a very, very, very good database. You know, and I'm not just saying that because I love 1983, I'm saying that because I honestly do believe it is a good database, but it just takes time for the database to come together. And by come together, I mean, it takes time for the database to get good. I actually may let Dickie Murdoch and... Okay, I take it back. Dickie and him can't go that long. So let's do this. More than 15 minutes. So let's have him go 13 minutes with a 15-minute draw. Really? Really, Frank? Oh no, I'm sorry. Really, Bruiser? I'm gonna keep things the way they are, and I'm gonna do what I wanted to do as far as making the match end in a draw, because Brody's only a freelancer. And because Brody's only a freelancer, it doesn't matter to me that Bruiser's pissed off at me. So it's Michael and... You know what I'm actually going to do? It's going to be for the 6-man titles. And Michael, Terry, and Buddy are going to go up against Kerry, David, and Iceman Parsons. Come on. Where the hell is he? What the hell is Parsons not here? Damn it, he's not here. Pay no attention to Super Olympia. Pay no attention to that. Well, Chris Adams it is. Chris Adams will team up with the Von Erichs against the Freebirds for the World Six-Man Tag Team titles. And Chris Adams will take the loss. And I know what you're going to say. Oh, Chris Adams is television champion. He shouldn't take the loss. I'm a little iffy on letting one of the Von Erichs take the loss in the first, like, I don't want to say official meeting, but one of the first meetings for the faction, or for the two. And then we're gonna give a random match on the show to give the Samoans some time, and also split up the big matches. Bugsy McGraw, Brian Adias, Frankie Lancaster. I know I could make it happen, but I don't want to. And it's also this, where the Fantastics go up against a team that I should have made, Bugsy McGraw and the Mongol. So the Fantastics won first via countout, second Bugsy and the Mongol won, and now the third and final match between the two tag teams will be won by the Fantastics, simply put because I don't want to have it gives me an excuse not to make the Mongol and Bugsy McGraw a tag team, because technically they're not a tag team. Okay, now it's time for the match that I promised to happen, as Gary Hart introduces his client, and his client is, or his special opponent for El Hijo de Tejas is, Super Olympia. As he brought in Super Olympia from Sequa, or Southeastern Championship Wrestling, ran by the Fullers in Tennessee, to go up against El Hijo de Tejas. The reason why is because Kabuki, well, partially because Kabuki is leaving. The other reason is, if you look at Gary Hart's clients, Kamala, he's too hot, he's hot, Dickie's feuding with Brody, and I don't want to, basically the reason why I brought in Super Olympia is because I want to take a pay-per-view or two to build up, I wanted to take a pay-per-view or two to build up El Hijo del Tejas, and the only way to do that, as far as clients-wise, is to have Gary Hart make calls and call in people from outside the company. So he called in Super Olympia to be the mystery opponent for El Hijo del Tejas, and unfortunately for Gary Hart, El Hijo del Tejas gets the victory. Super Olympia did do good with a 54 in-ring performance, and the match overall got a 62, but Del Tejas still got the victory. By the way, I just wanted to say, Super Olympia, you know what, I'm going to keep it a mystery. You want to know who Super Olympia is? Look it up. Because that's the point. I didn't want to bring in somebody, I wanted to, keep the identity a secret. That's basically what I'm trying to say. The perfect ending. The perfect ending. Because, well, actually, this match should have gotten a lot better, but because I had to go to a draw, and also because I had Brody lose, it got a 71, but the reason why I said a perfect ending is because the match ended in a draw after the ref lost control of the match and stopped the match. With Dickie Murdoch and Bruiser Brody going one-on-one against each other, that is exactly the finish their first match probably would have gotten. Or probably would have had. By the way, Brody got an 83 and Dickie got a 77. So, I'm excited to see where we go in March as far as a rating goes with Brody and Dickie. Bugsy and the Fantastics over Bugsy McGraw and the Mongol as I'm once again, much like El Hijo del Tejas, the reason why I kept the Fantastics away from the Freebirds for this long is because, and put them in a feud with the Mongol and Bugsy McGraw, is because, simply put, I wanted to build them up. And I don't know if you noticed when I was booking the show, but Bobby Fulton and Tommy Rogers are both now mid-carders, as opposed to the lower mid-carders that they were when I first got them. So now they're slowly but surely creeping their way up to the top of the card, or up the card at least, to where maybe, just maybe, I could put them in a feud with the Guerreros, just thinking, and the winner of that feud could become number one contenders. So maybe I just gave you a hint as to where or what the future holds for the Fantastics in WCCW. Now we move to the first of two title matches tonight, as Kevin Von Erich successfully defends his American Heavyweight title against Kabuki in what is Kabuki's last match in World Class, even though, yes, Kabuki will be here for the next episode of World Class TV. He will not be featured on World Class Television because I want to get him away from World Class TV as soon as possible. And this will be his last appearance on television. But as far as Kevin Von Erich goes, it is only his second defense, and for those of you who don't know, the American Heavyweight title is World Class's territory World Heavyweight title. The Texas Heavyweight title is sort of, I guess you could say, the upper mid-card title for World Class. And now we move to the buffer match between Sean O'Reilly and the Samoan, as the Samoan gets what I believe to be his first win of 1983. And now we move to the main event. For the first time this year, the Von Erichs and the Freebirds are in the ring together as the fabulous Freebirds successfully defend their WCCW World Six-Man titles against Kerry Von Erich, Chris Adams, and David Von Erich, with Chris Adams taking the loss by the hand of Terry Gordy. And yes, like I mentioned earlier, Chris Adams may be the television champion, but I will tell you this, that Chris will be defending his TV title this week's edition of World Class Television against a member of the Freebirds. And all this will make a little bit more sense because I'm going to give him his win back. Yes, I know I just spoiled the surprise, but for anybody who gets defensive of champions looking weak, there you go. But as far as this goes, this is the only way I could think of it because it allows people to think, okay, the Von Erichs didn't lose. Chris Adams did. So the Von Erichs still have not lost to the Freebirds. And as far as next month goes, I will say this, that it's very likely that next month you will see the Von Erichs against the Freebirds in a tag team match. But I will also say this, that the tag team titles will likely not be defended in that match. I haven't decided yet, but I have to figure out which way I want to go in March as far as it pertains to the Freebirds and the Von Erichs. Because as far as a 6-man tag team match goes, I want to make it a rarity that all 3 members of both trios are in the ring together. And I want to save the matches for the big 2 pay-per-views, that is, in May and in, I believe, November. So, unless things change, in my mind, those are the 2 times you will see 6-man tag team matches on the part of the Freebirds and the Von Erichs. So with that being said, this is how the February pay-per-view ends. And let's see what we got. We got a 71 final rating, and we increased our popularity in one region. This being, the reason for this being because, well, think about it. Were big events in 1983 seen on television? Exactly. That's the reason why only the Mid-South region saw an increase in popularity and nowhere else. So, there you go. With that being the case, if you like the video, sorry, I want to hear from you. What did you think of how Bruiser Brody versus Dick Murdoch started? What do you think of the current what do you think of the current environment here in World Class Championship Wrestling? And who would you like to see enter World Class Championship Wrestling in the month of March? Let me know all that down in the comment section below, because I want to hear from you. But if you don't want to leave a comment, you can always leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more content just like this that you can only find right here at Wrestling Express. And next time, I'll get my outro right. So tune in. If